Well, Ajay, I think we'll take it from here. Thank you very much indeed. And we've since been joined by Mr. Pt.1, who is the former governor of Anambra State. Good morning and happy Independence Day to you, sir.
Happy Independence Day. I think everybody's happy celebrating.
Yes, we should be. That's the plan. That's the idea. But we hope it turns out that way. But we've just listened to the minister. She's giving, yes, they did acknowledge some challenges concerning our debt profile. And they identified some areas where government needs to work on, like getting the debt ratio, total debt ratio, making the foreign component 60, the local component 40, which they're trying to work on, borrowing to finance capital expenditure and infrastructural development. But we'll come to that in a bit. But if we go through some recent figures where the DMO says that our debt to GDP ratio is about 19%. And then we look through the fact book, which I think they usually published by CIA, where they say as of 2016, Nigeria was the 7th lowest in terms of debt to GDP in the world. So does that suggest that on that parameter, that seems to be a good threshold for us?
Well, I listened to the Honorable Minister, which I must thank her. She did mention the challenges and everything. And I must say, in some cases, she was very truthful about the situation and everything. And that's what people should do when they're in office, to say the right things. But I've always disagreed when people talk about debt to GDP.
Why?
I cried out about this debt accumulation as far back as May 21, 2017, when I appeared at the platform with the former minister. You talk about your debt to revenue, not debt to GDP. But debt to GDP might be low, but your revenue might be high.
Which you acknowledge that.
For example, today we're using about 50% of our revenue to service debt. And that is why you don't even have any resources for your capital projects, and you're borrowing entirely for capital projects. And I'll come about the borrowing, which is said. And again, even if your debt to GDP is low, is what are you borrowing for? Because it's what you're borrowing for that will make a difference. There's countries that have more debt to their GDP, like Japan.
The highest in the world, yeah.
That has about 200. But if you look at the development in Japan and what they've used the debt to do, there's the ability to even withstand that. And don't forget that Japan has the highest American Treasury bills. So they have even some money somewhere. But here you're borrowing, you don't have anything anywhere.
Yeah, but if I could just jump in. When she spoke about this debt, and if she says, look, the debt, what we're borrowing, not just for the sake of borrowing, but borrowing to finance capital. Isn't that the way it should be? That was what we did in 1964 when we first borrowed.
Where's the capital? People just say borrowing to finance capital. Capital projects. Where is the capital projects? This is not something that is hidden. You borrow to build a house. People should see the house. Simple. You borrow to build a bridge. Maybe we borrow to build a fourth mainland bridge. This is the bridge. We borrow to finance the power sector. This is not, when we talk about capital projects, this is visible. Everybody can see it. Everybody can follow it. What normally happens when you're borrowing to finance capital is that you're specific. I'm approaching, say, this institution, and I want to borrow $1 billion. And I'm going to use it to set up channel TV. So everybody knows this is what we are doing. Capital is not amorphous. It's just something to say, I'm borrowing for capital. It needs to be specific. That is how you borrow. We're borrowing money. If you go to corporations, we're borrowing money because we want to build a new factory. And this new factory is going to cost us this. So people can be, it must be something that is, everybody can see, is measurable, everybody can. So if we are doing foundation, this is the amount we borrowed. If we're doing this, so I want to see where these capitals are, and what is the costing project, and what is the ability of those capital projects to pay back. Because if, for example, if I go and borrow to build a facility in my village that doesn't have any economic value and will never pay back, that is not borrowing. So when you're borrowing...
Does building roads not have any economic value?
Yeah, so which road now? The most important road in Nigeria, I think, is Lagos-Ibadan. They've been building this road since probably, I won't say since I was born, but since I know, I'll say I've been in the university. Until today, it's still being constructed. So again, this is what I'm saying. If you say, we are tired of this, we are going to borrow 200 billion naira to complete Lagos-Ibadan, and we're going to toll it. Yes.
But what is going on in Lagos-Ibadan? I know maybe this our end. You may not have seen something going on here.
Chamberlain, I don't want to go there. We're building a road that ordinarily in any other country would have been completed in 1 year. I said they've been building it since, let me even say since 2000, year 2000, Lagos-Ibadan, every day. Look at even I just have Papa Oshodi here. You know, does it make...
But, you know, if it's since 2000, that was, I mean, you should know better. That was the PDP leadership where people ask questions concerning
let me tell you.
Their funding of that project, which raised a lot of dust at the time.
No, Chamberlain.
There were huge questions.
Chamberlain, when I talk about issues of cumulative effect of bad leadership, I'm not restricting to anybody. I'm restricting to years back.
So tell us
what we're going through today is years back.
So help us identify where did we get it wrong at that point? And have we not learned any lessons today?
Chamberlain, we've been driving on the wrong road. That is why we have a problem we have today. It's as simple as ABC. It is this. I've compared it in these studios with you. We have said we were signatory to Millennium Development Goals. Today is the #1 thing China used to achieve what they've achieved. And it's very simple. And I will repeat it again. China was able to pull, they had 4% middle class as a year 2000, 4%. By year 2015, it's become 31.8%. That was why they were able to pull 439 million out of poverty. Within the same period, we pushed nearly 60 million into poverty. That's why we're the poverty capital